Hustlers. Lorena Scafaria. Dave, I mean, this is a movie that I feel like came out of nowhere and has just like totally captured people's attention. And obviously, it's hard to have a movie with J Lo and all the stars in this that there are, and to say it kind of came out of nowhere. But when if you looked back, 2 months ago, and you said the Goldfinch and Hustlers is dropping on the same weekend, I think almost everybody would have said, "Oh, the Goldfinch, I know that movie." But
Right.
Hustlers, not nearly as well known, and this movie's killing it at the box office, from what I understand.
Yeah, $33.2 million opening weekend. That's a record for XTX, the biggest opening in its 5-year history. And J-Lo, record opening weekend for her whole career, passing Monster-in-Law from 05. And it's funny, you say it come out of nowhere, but it really did. I knew about this movie earlier in the year when the casting got announced. J-Lo had been attached to this for a while, but like Constance and Cardi and Lizzo and Usher, all that news, that didn't come out until a few 7-8 months ago. And then I was really surprised when, oh wait, that movie's coming out this year? Kind of crazy. And then you realize $20 million budget, 29-day shoot, really condensed, really to scale film. And as you said, when you're managing I think 3 in-demand talents, one of which is your co-lead in J-Lo, a lot of hoops to juggle through. And Scafaria has said that it was definitely a challenging production. She would not recommend trying to do it this way again. But yeah, I was also surprised it was going at TIFF. I was like, Hustlers at TIFF? That's, people do awards campaigns kicking off at TIFF. Is this smart? And then out of TIFF, you're like, oh wait, this movie rules. Now I get it. And once you see it, you're like, yeah, this does rule. And I read the story it's based on in New York Magazine, The Hustlers It Scores. It's a long read. And in a sense, I almost wish I didn't read it, because it's the plot of the real life story, and they changed the character names, but the plot for the most part is verbatim in the film, and like actual lines about stuff like giving blowjobs for 300, and like there's verbatim quotes from the story that are in the script.
Yeah,
it don't stand out from a script perspective, but I was like, oh shit, I actually know the beats of this movie more than I expected because I read the story ahead of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of nowhere, and huge success, really exciting.
Yeah, when I saw the producers of this being Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, the movie made a lot more sense to me. And the movie, it's well told, it's not confusing at all, but the way it was edited and the way that it looked reminded me a lot of The Big Short in a lot of ways, touching obviously on the financial crisis as a theme, but some of the cuts, showing these ancillary characters to explain a larger concept that's out in the world that's then impacting the storyline or the characters. You think about J-Lo walking through the club and talking about the levels of Wall Street guys that there are, as an example of that.
Yeah.
Where it's like the little fish on the totem pole, the middle guy, and then like the top CEOs, and then they go to them dancing in the private room, and it's it reminded me a lot of The Big Short crossed with like Goodfellas, crossed with Magic Mike, obviously, for the similarity in like the dancing and things like that. But this movie was just goddamn delight, and it really kicks off with Jennifer Lopez's appearance in the movie with her on-stage performance.
Jesus Christ, man.
How is she 50?
50 years old, doing a elaborate pole dancing striptease to Fiona Apple's Criminal. Super impressive from a physical perspective, given her age, and also really, I think, compelling scene in the film for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and basically from there, it's like a rocket, and you see Ramona, played by Jennifer Lopez, befriending Destiny, Constance Wu, and it's really fun to see their relationship build. And I think the only knock I might have on the film at all is I didn't find Constance Wu's performance totally engaging throughout. But Jennifer Lopez is throwing 100 miles per hour in the black the entire movie. And it's just so delightful. And you mentioned the big cast. I feel like everybody gets a moment in there. Whether it's Lizzo like running in to say Usher's in the club,
It's
and then the
motherfucking
entire
Usher.
Usher's, yeah, the entire Usher scene is just absurd, and the musical cues, the way that
Mhm.
that they build moments up,
Yeah.
or that they background moments using music and other things. It's just uh, really really impressive. Why don't we talk about maybe some of the performances, some of the moments that really stood out to you most from this?
Yeah, I think you're right on with the music cues, man. Um, Starting right off with J-Lo's opening number, as we said, but really tasteful selection of late aughts songs for this. Um,
Yeah,
and I think they all make sense. Obviously, doing Love in the Club by Usher for the Usher cameo, awesome. But doing Scott Walker's Next when they first started drugging people, and like the line when he's like feels like jelly as the guy's like fucking like losing his
yeah,
consciousness, that was great. And then more obvious stuff like Britney Spears, Gimme More, and Big Sean's Dance Ass, and some Janet Jackson in this as well. The cues are good song choices, but also dropped in the film really well. And shout
mm-hmm.
out getting all these songs cleared, because I'm sure a lot of these were challenging. But yeah, I mean, you're right.
Yeah,
Everyone really has a good moment. And yeah, I think Constance, uh, Destiny, for the most part, is kind of down the middle, right?
yeah,
At least the characterization in this is. And I think in real life that probably isn't the case. But in real life her name was Rosalind. But uh, Constance kind of moves the plot and like it plays off J-Lo. But Keke Palmer as Mercedes, hilarious. I've always been a big fan of Keke Palmer. Like she was really great in Scream Queens, which I really
mm-hmm.
liked. Short-lived show on Fox. And now she's a meme right now with the the not knowing who Dick Cheney
Yeah,
video with Vanity Fair. It's going around right now, hilarious. But she's good. Lily Reinhart, who I hadn't really heard of before, she's from Riverdale.
mm-hmm.
She's a girl who pukes throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, she's great.
She was really good too. And yeah, man, I think then Cardi and Lizzo, stunt casting at the end of the day. But I mean, if you're gonna have Cardi for a few scenes, it's nice that one of them is teaching Constance how to, give lap dances. Good
Yeah,
use of
and
Cardi's time, in my opinion.
and Cardi B, she's such a fun personality, but I feel like she actually like steals a lot of scenes that she's in, and like you said, she's in like maybe like 4 or 5 of them throughout. But she's so magnetic on the screen. It's just like I wanted more of her for sure, and it actually feels a little noticeable to me when she just kind of disappears.
Right.
Obviously, they
Yeah.
only had her for like a day on set or something like that, but
Yeah, it's noticeable. Like once we're like into the heist section, then you just kind of realize, oh wait, yeah, we're not going to see Cardi ever again. We've advanced several years. It's over.
yep.
Oh darn.
Yeah. What scene I really, really loved was when things kind of go wrong with I forget the blonde haired character's name who pukes a lot.
Right.
When she has the guy who's like passed out, jumped off the balcony and thought he could like fly or whatever. And then Constance kind of has to figure that whole scene out. And then she can have that almost like Goodfellas like tracking shot in a sense where she's like running through her house and runs across the street to get her kid from the babysitter and then goes to the school and walks her in. Everybody's looking at her with her blood covered like hoochie outfit or however you want to put it, going out outfit. But it's I just found that scene so engaging and I felt like it encapsulated everything the movie was, which is this really funny and engaging look at these people who are doing these really awful things, but you're rooting for because you kind of get this more human side that Ramona is, even though she's kind of like seen as this boss in a sense, and especially in the interview moments, is really built up by Destiny as this like always in control, like kind of putting it on Ramona. She's also this sweet woman who's like trying to help the people around her, maybe not always in the most well guided ways, but she does seem to care about the people in her life a lot, and how Destiny is this really broken and lonely person who's just looking to feel connected and a part of something since her mom left. I think they do a really good job of building all that out. Any other scenes that stood out to you?
Uh, they manage a lot. Destiny's struggles with being a mom, right? And plays that off of Ramona's seemingly successful run at being a mom and having people work for her and being able to manage that more. But I think like the lazy stuff is like, oh, this movie, it's a movie about women working for themselves, and it's all pro women and all this. But that's all true. But the movie, because it's a kind of framed against the specter of the financial crisis, and it's framed about working people, or the system doesn't really support them, right? I think it's just the whole like sentiment of the plot is much smarter than you expect going in when you hear it's just a movie about strippers and go-go dancers that rob their clients, right? Like the movie actually, I think, says a lot, which you didn't expect going in. So I think there's actually really a lot to glean from the movie, and even if you don't want to think too hard about it, as we said before, J-Lo is just kind of crushing it the whole time. Yeah. And it's her best work since at least Out of Sight or Selena, right? Which is
for sure
20 years ago. So, and part of that's J-Lo's fault. She hasn't picked a lot of great projects in her film career, but it's really exciting. I know there's a lot of buzz about her being nominated for an Oscar for this. I think it's a little early to say if that's for certain, but she's at least in the mix, which, I mean, good for her.
Exciting.
Yeah. So Hustlers, man, kind of wild. This is a adult drama success that we always talk about being so rare these days, and just a great time. Also, shout out Julia Stiles, man. Hollywood has not known what to do there since the Bourne movies, and it's a small role, but I'm just happy to see she's back out there again.
Yeah, it was funny. I literally turned to my girlfriend and I was like, Julia Stiles? Like, didn't even expect that at all. And the way that it cuts to the interviews, it's just like very catchy off guard. Hustlers, great movie. Go see it.